Join me today as I make this really cute bird feeder for the front porch of the dollhouse. Join me and see how fun and easy this project is. All right, this is kind of a compromise for my camera angle because in order to have it really close where you guys can see better, I can't keep under camera with this project. This is actually my third time through making this and recording it. So we're going to have a little bit wider angle and you're just going to have to squint a little, I'm afraid. I will try to take photos after each video clip so that those can be in the blog post. But we're going to start out. We have the tube on our bird feeder is going to be this. This is from one of my new paintbrushes. It was that protective tube that was over the really fine, skinny paintbrush tip. These are really handy if you get new paintbrushes and they have those, or makeup brushes, anything. Keep those tubes, keep them safe. If you don't have this and you have that flexible aquarium tubing that they use to hook up the air pumps to different things, that also works. I have a 1/2 inch button. This is one place where I'm varying my project from how I usually do this. This is a metal 1/2 inch button. It's got 4 holes on the bottom. I'm kind of adapting my normal project. And then I have a bead cap. And we are going to start out by cutting a piece of this wire. This is some jewelry wire. And we're going to waste a little bit of it. That's okay. I am going to try to keep this under camera for you guys. So we're going to go down through any one of the holes and then back up through the hole that's opposite the one you just did. And I may have to, oh, I got it. All right, and then I'm going to take a pair of pliers and I'm going to chip this. I may have to turn the camera off for it and do off camera where I can get it up, where I can get a better grip on it. But I'm going to, in fact, I am going to do that. I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to get this twisted and then I'll come back and show you the next step. All right, I got that twisted on there pretty tightly and I got a couple of pictures. Now this button has a nice inset on the back side, which I like, and because this has a 4-hole button, there's going to be a tendency for my fake bird seed to come out. So what I've got here, I've just got some white cardstock and a regular hole punch. And this isn't going to do much on its own, but it will help the bird feeder to not lose all its bird seed right away. I'm going to fill that little area up with some glue. This is just tacky glue. And then I'm going to get hold of this piece I just punched out. And I'm going to kind of push that up against my wire and into that glue that I just filled that with. Now that glue is going to have to dry before we can go on to our next step because that is going to help this to stabilize. So when this glue is dry, I'll come back and we'll go to that next step. All right, I think this glue has gone far enough that we can go on to our next step. And first thing we're going to do is shorten this by just a little bit. I want it about 1 inch long. And so that means I'm only going to cut off just a little bit on this one. Now, I'm going to slide this down over that wire. Oops. Before I get it too far down, I'm going to fill that base. I forgot to open my glue, of course. Put some tacky glue down in there. Should have done that before I slipped that plastic on, but I didn't think of it. And I'm afraid if I let go of it now, it's going to run away and I won't be able to find it. Toothpick. I am not prepared. All right, now put that off to the side. got a paper towel, and I've got some of these little tiny no-hole bead, micro beads. Of course she fell off. And what I'm going to do, I find doing this over a paper towel helps me to not lose as many because they don't tend to roll away as much when you use a paper towel, when you spill them. Now, just set that right there. And open up some super glue because I'm going to drop some super glue down on top. And slide my plastic down into the super glue. And then I'm going to put the lid back on my super glue before I spill it all over. There. Now the beads are not going to all stay there yet. We are going to have to do a little bit more to this before they're going to stay really well. But this is a start. I'm going to set this off to the side and let that glue dry completely. And when that's dry, I'll come back and we will go to the next step. All right, now that that glue has dried pretty well, we are going to add some beads to the tube of our bird feeder. And this is going to be one of those processes that's going to take like forever, and I'm probably going to turn the camera off and work on it because this is going to take me quite some time, but I'm going to very slowly be adding beads, these black beads down into here. So off camera I'm going to do that, and then I'll come back and we'll go to the step of putting the top on. Alright, now that I have that tube all filled with beads, now you could optionally use a safety pin and put holes through and put wires through to make perches, but I really find it takes way more time than it's worth to do. So I'm going to move these off to the side, and I am going to add just a little drop of super glue to the top of this plastic. And then I have a bell cap here. This is a jewelry cap. It's used to decorate tops of beads, and that is going to slide down. It's going to contact that super glue, and we are going to let that now dry. And when that glue is dry, I'll come back and we will finish this up. Alright, our glue is pretty much set, so now we're going to make sure that we have this a little more full and fixed in a way that our bird seed is not going to come out. So what I've got over here off to the side, I have just some gloss Mod Podge and an old brush. I don't want to be using my good brush for this because I'm going to kind of bash it down into, and I'm hoping you guys can see. I'm trying to keep this where you can see. Hopefully you can. And then I'm going to do I want to get all that Mod Podge kind of coated in these little beads. And then I'm going to let this sit, and I'm going to let this dry. And when it dries, I'll take a look at it and see if I want to add more or if we're ready to just do the final step. So I'll be back when this is dry. Alright, everything has glued overnight. So now it's time, and I've got enough birdseed on there. I'm going to go ahead and finish this off. And to do that, you'll need needle nose pliers and wire cutters. We're going to start by bending this over. Then I like to just kind of bend it around. We're making a loop like we would if we were making jewelry. And I'm not the best at this, but I get by. I think I should have brought my other pliers, but these are fine. There we go. All right, let's move over to the dollhouse and I'll show you how I hang these up. All right, we're looking at the front porch of the beachside bungalow. And right here is one of those eyelets that I put in the process of building the house. Remember, we put 3 of them here on the front and then 1 on each side. We're going to use one to hang our bird feeder with today. And in preparation, I went in, I got some wire, I put a hook in one end of it, I put it through the bird feeder, I figured out how high I wanted the bird feeder to hang today, and then I put a hook at the other end at that, bend it over, put a hook in, and now I've got a hanger for this. So you could do the same thing with chain, if you have some jewelry chain. That works really nice, and it does hang a little better, but I didn't have any chain today, and I might change this out later. But then you just put it like that, and if you want it more secure, bring your pliers and actually use your pliers to close these loops, these hooks, and then it will be a little more secure and it won't fall off as easily if someone bumps it. But let's put Mr. Doll behind it. He's just filled the bird feeder, and they're ready to watch the birds come and eat. I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you did, leave a like, leave me a comment. If you enjoy my content and haven't subscribed, I encourage you to hit that subscription button and the notification bell so you know when I put up a new video. Check out the blog post for more pictures. Find us over on Facebook if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.